All right, everybody, welcome. Let's do this. Huh? Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on? Welcome. So let me start off with this. If you are here someone tagged me on Twitter and said they watched the show and they listened for 10 minutes. That's all they could stand, so they stopped watching. So the first little bit here, I'm gonna discuss the Twitter stuff a little bit. We're gonna go into it, and I'm gonna tell you why. So for anyone who's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" There was some very interesting activity over the last 24 plus hours on Twitter involving me, another popular Twitter account. So also let me say this: do not go harass the individual who I'm not even going to say his name. I'm not even going to say the Twitter account's name because I don't want people going and harassing the guy. Let's just be real. He got bodied. He got absolutely bodied on Twitter. I think it's like, in some way, I think he's thrown up the white flag. He did delete apparently everything he said, which, I mean, I don't know if he did that out of, like, maybe he realized, okay, I took it too far and I carried on with this for far too long. Or if, he just got tired of getting beat over the head by people. I mean, it was crazy. But I got enough of you asking me about it. I mean, my DMs, text messages, I'm not even kidding. I had a family member that texted me about it. Are you going to talk about this? Go live right now and talk about it. This was yesterday. Actually, it was yesterday and the day before. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to go. I'll go live tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, so we can kind of talk about, go into a little bit more depth on the game a little bit, not a whole lot, and also we're gonna, as we would find out, today we had an update from Danielle Musselman on Twitter. So yeah, we're gonna kind of go in on all of that. Y'all gonna make me sign up for Twitter? I'm not trying to. I promise. I used to do these Let's Talks. I used to do them, all the time. I shouldn't say all the time. Every once in a while, I'd do a Let's Talk. It would just be me and chat kind of conversing back and forth. So, yeah, shout out to Patreon supporters, by the way, all 100 plus of you. At the moment, we'll see where we actually end up. Listen, that's a big deal. Is the Patreon. So if you guys want to join, it's a big deal that we have over 100 people. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think not that long ago I was thanking you guys for us just getting over 50. And look at us now. We're starting off 2024, hopefully the right way. We're going to find out on the 6th of February. But here's the Patreon link. If you're here, jump on over and hit the like. It helps the channel. Hey, appreciate you talking beer. Thanks, man, as always. So, yeah, shout out to the sponsors. Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company located, they work out of Central Arkansas and in Northwest Arkansas. They offer same-day services, quality parts, and affordable outcomes. Give them a call today, 501-244-3667. Hundreds of five-star reviews. They put in my door. They did terrific work. Also, shout out to the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzeria on Emma in Springdale. It's a staple in the area. Fantastic pies, IPAs on tap. They've got you covered, man. Great environment, great staff. And I've never had a pizza there yet that I haven't liked. So, all right. Yeah, I saw that too, Scott. I saw that too. Yeah, make sure you guys like, share, and if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Go Hogs, beat Missouri, says hogging it up. Yeah. Yep. I done and went and shared this on X Twitter. I appreciate you, Philip. Yeah. These rumors are out of hand, says Aiden Bowen. Well, before we do that, let me get this stuff out of the way, okay? Before we dive into some of that, and again, we're going to talk about the Musselman situation. We're going to get what's the proper way of putting this? We're going to address this again. We're going to kind of go over it a little bit, but again, we had this update on Twitter this morning, actually, from Danielle, and that's really the kind of the update there, and I want to focus on that for a minute. And then, of course, we'll talk about Arkansas, Missouri. So let me start off by saying this. The Twitter account made several accusations about the show on Monday. So I think most of you, sometimes I forget, when you've done this for as long as I have, you feel like, and I know this for a fact, I look at my YouTube analytics, not every day, but probably once a week or so. YouTube doesn't always send out notifications, and YouTube doesn't really ever recommend this channel as often as they once did. Here's what's odd about this. The like to dislike ratio on this channel has actually grown. I don't know if it's they just don't want to push a solo act hour-long live stream. I don't know if it's because of the swear words that I use here. I say things like shit, ass, hell, damn. I don't know what it is. They just don't recommend me as often as they once did. It might have something to do with, all the new channels popping up. I have no idea. So you feel like sometimes you're talking and you're presenting a product to the same audience. So if you guys look at every single title that I do, it's very consistent. It's separated by each topic with a plus sign. I guess this Twitter account didn't understand that or is new to my content, although he claims he's watched my content and said I make good content, and then kind of backtracked on that a little bit, said that I mostly make good content or something like that. I don't know. So this is consistent. You look at the title, that is consistent with how I make all my videos. Each subject or everything we're going to talk about, not everything, but it's separated with a plus sign. So the way that title was presented, it would help if I had it pulled up. It's something about Musselman, rumors, and then plus Devo. I could probably see if you're an outsider, and I mentioned this Monday. Remember, this happened while we were live on Monday. I could probably see if you're an outsider. Okay, is he talking about Musselman and Devo rumors? Here's the other thing. Everybody was talking about this on Monday. Why I got singled out, I have no idea. There's articles written. They're talking about it on radio. I'm sure television, if anyone still watches, I'm sure they're talking about, and they're using the word rumors, and they're discussing it. I follow the Razorbacks. Why the hell wouldn't I discuss this? Now, if you remember on Monday, I also said we're not talking about the off the floor stuff. I did say I could probably retitle the video, but I didn't. I didn't because I think the vast majority of you understood what the title was and what we were doing. And again, that my mindset was I'm talking to basically the same people because YouTube doesn't recommend me to outsiders like it once did. So you feel like you're kind of talking to the names that are on my screen. I see you guys here, and I love it too, by the way. I love you guys. You feel like you're talking to that same bunch, right? So maybe I could have maybe worded that different, but I really don't think I would. I'm not taking it down, or I'm not changing the title. But I made it perfectly clear in that show on Monday, we're not talking about the off the floor stuff. I've also stood up for players time and time again. I've also advocated, I should say advocate, that's a stupid word. I don't want to say that. I've been on the side of paying players. I have been now for 4 years. I've said all along we need to pay players. I also try to be very respectful to the players in their personal lives, to their family members. And now they're not above criticism. I've criticized plenty of players, and if I've ever stepped over that line, which I have, I don't know. I will always apologize, knowing if I understood the context of what was going on. I don't think I ever have. At least I hope I haven't. But I have been doing this for a very long time. So, yeah, I think that person probably, and by the way, they started off spelling my name T-Y-E, and then later they went back and corrected somebody when they used the word, or when they spelled my name T-Y-E. Anyways, it is what it is. It's silly. And I do think it was maybe that person was being sincere, or it was just clout. So that brings me to the other part of this. He then takes a shot at me for only having 2,000 followers on Twitter. Well, let me explain. You know why? I only have 2,000 followers on, and thanks to you, by the way, I'm at 2,000 or 2,020 something. Thank you for that, by the way. And I actually grew in subscribers. Appreciate that. You know why I don't have more followers? Because you have to ride a certain algorithm, right? YouTube, you have to ride. You fall in line with their algorithm. You have to. For anyone who's a content creator, for anyone who's dabbled in whatever, Spotify, YouTube, whatever, you have to follow a certain algorithm. Twitter's has changed, especially since Elon Musk. So the reason why I don't have more followers, I don't know how many more, but I could have more, is because the only way to really grow your brand there is to do the very thing that you did the previous 24 plus hours. It's to farm in any way, any kind of clout that you can get, which is exactly what that Twitter handle was doing on Monday, I feel like. It didn't matter if it was negative attention. It didn't matter if he was trying to throw my channel and my show and that episode under the bus. Again, he did later say I make decent content. But that's the reason why I hate the way Twitter's algorithm, the way it works. I don't like it. I'm already busy with YouTube, so I leave everything that I do and say. Now, it's not to say that I'm not on Twitter. It's not to say that I haven't posted. I just don't make an effort there anymore. Just like with Facebook, I just don't make much of an effort there. Everything I want to do is here, whether it's polls on the community chat, if it's community updates, it's there, or Discord, by the way. But everything I want to talk about and discuss, it's here. So you can hear it from my mouth. I can also go into further detail, and I'm also going to mess up too because, you got 1,000 things running through your mind. But what you did, and I believe it felt like, I don't want to say slander, but the way you took shots at this channel and my show on Monday is all that's wrong with the way social media works. And I just don't like playing that game on Twitter and on Facebook. I feel like Facebook's algorithm is a little bit different. Memes carry pretty well on Facebook. I like sharing memes on my personal. But the way you went about that, and I never got any kind of an apology. I never asked for one. I don't want one. But the way you went about that is all that's wrong with how you grow an audience on Twitter. And that's not the only way. To be fair, it's not. You can share videos and memes and stats and do stuff. My hands are full here, and this is where I like to keep everything. But, I think you were pretty disingenuous. You doubled down, and then you deleted all your tweets. So it says everything that transpired over the last 24-plus hours says a lot more about you and who runs that Twitter than anything that I've done with that show on Monday. And by the way, I'm a Razorback channel, as I spoke earlier. I'm going to talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. And I have an overwhelming like to dislike ratio on this channel. In fact, it's actually grown. Over 100 Patreon supporters. Yeah, I don't have very many. I don't mess with Twitter much. Maybe I should more. I don't know. My hands are full here. And I want to talk to my Patreon supporters. I want to talk to the people who are here. To the people who actually give a shit and they're here and they're supporting small channels, not even just mine, but others. So that's all I'll say on it. That's it. In all honesty, I laughed at a lot of it. And I want to thank so many of you guys who went to bat for your boy. I mean, people just, and I'm not condoning anyone that took shots at the guy, but who defended me. I appreciate that. I sat back and I laughed at a lot of it. It was good. it was pretty funny, some of it. And I appreciate you guys. Don't go harassing the Twitter handle. Don't go harassing them. In fact, this is the last. I don't even think I have no interest in going any further with it. I didn't respond to anything the guy said. I let him talk. He had a few followers that took some shots at me. I've had a few shots taken at me since. But you know what? I'm used to it. Been doing it. It kind of comes with the territory a little bit. I get it. I just find it interesting that it was me that got the attempt was made to throw me under the bus. Meanwhile, all the big established the establishment, well-endorsed media got away with it, and somehow this independent channel, there's something about how people view people like me, right? It's interesting. It's like I'm not allowed to talk about certain things, but meanwhile, they can talk about whatever they want on radio in the morning. Now, to be fair, the evening guys catch a lot of hell too. So I'm not trying to. I mean, it is what it is. Again, I'm used to it. It's just interesting that I get thrown under the bus for doing what everyone else is doing. I don't know. So there we go. That's it. That's all I got. That's why I don't mess with Twitter. Congratulations on that Twitter handles, however many followers they have. That's great. But I think we know how you got those. And this week kind of showed us. So there you go. All right. Forget him, Ty. You are the only hog guy I watch. I appreciate you, Richard. Appreciate you, man. Screw him, Ty. You're the man. Josh, you're awesome. Thank you, guys. Let's see. Scrolling up. What up, Ty? What's going on, M-Town? How you doing, man? You didn't do anything wrong, Ty. I don't think I did. And if I'm ever in the wrong, I want you guys. I have no problem with you guys pointing that out, right? If you feel like hey, feel free to DM me, message me, whatever, or you can call me out here. We'll talk about it. You have a fan in me, Ty. I appreciate you, Tercer. What's up, Ty? Mr. Kicks, how you doing? All right. This morning, Danielle Musselman posted this. Pshow. I found this interesting. I'm sure a lot of you did as well. Jumping on here only because people have resorted to asking my 8th grader for clarification. There is zero truth to every ridiculous rumor that I've read, heard, and people reporting from a quote-unquote good source. They should go sell the story to Netflix. Sounds like a 3-part series. Man, I just cannot imagine going up to I don't know, maybe it was other kids. Maybe it was other 8th graders. I mean, listen, when I was in 8th grade, I was invested in Arkansas sports. 12, 13-year-old me in 1997, that would have been about the time I was in 8th grade, at Ramey Junior High in Fayetteville. Yeah, I was all in on Razorback sports. So I'm not going to say as a kid, hey, what's your dad doing? If that were me, what's your dad doing, bro? Is he what's going on? Is he leaving? Or I certainly hope it's not adults. I really hope it's not adults. Someone from my show on Monday said they left a comment today, and they said, because I told you guys, don't tag players. You should never. I just don't. I'll just put it this way. I'm not going to tag a player. You got to be careful with that, right? Anytime, unless you're praising them or whatever, don't tag players. Well, someone today from Monday's show said blank that. They're I mean, that's not verbatim how they put it. They get paid money, so they're fair game is basically what the comment was saying, which I just find, wow. I mean, I guess, after all, I was 16 working at Taco Bell on the old 6th Street, which is now Martin Luther King. I certainly had plenty of adults scream at me, so maybe he's got a point, but I was getting paid. No, I'm never, I personally, I'm not going to do it. If you're going to do that, again, that probably says a lot more about you than it does the player based on their poor performance on the floor or whatever's going on in their lives. I certainly hope we're not tweeting it at anybody about their personal lives. But, yeah, sure, I caught a lot of shit working at Taco Bell, as a 16-year-old kid. I guess. But I certainly hope this isn't a situation where a grown man's walking up to a 13-year-old kid and bothering him. Was I skeptical in the beginning that he was going to leave at all? Yeah, of course I was. Me and like everybody else. And I didn't care who at the time. I see a lot of people who are taking credit. Oh, I told you guys. Well, no, you heard it from a guy. You heard it from someone on television, and that's where you got all this from. And then it's kind of snowballed since then. And now we have, that we talked about on Monday, that Twitter handle that's putting that stuff out there about Musselman leaving, right? That his team or his agent, whoever, has been making phone calls. So I can't remember if I talked about this on Monday, if I said this or not. So if I'm repeating myself, I apologize. But this is something that I have given this a lot of thought since this weekend, since the more and more, this stuff has been it's been out there for a little bit, okay? That there's a possibility that Musselman, again, going back to what someone had said, a national pundit said several weeks ago. So I'd kind of been giving this more and more thought, and I feel like I've probably said this before, but what a better time for a coach who went 8-10 in conference play last year, did make it to the Sweet 16, but didn't go as far as he had before in the previous 2 seasons in March. Now this year, this thing is getting out of control. We don't know how many SEC wins they're going to get. By the way, I put my prediction in Discord and then I took it out. I'm like flipping a coin over here. I really don't know who to pick in this game. These two awful teams. Let's be real. They're both dumpster fires at this point. But again, going back to the timing thing, it sure is strange to me that this starts now. That we didn't hear this at the beginning of the year. We didn't hear this in November. We're not hearing it in February. We started hearing this in January when shit had already kind of hit the fan. And your market value as a head coach is dipped. Let's be real. If Eric Musselman, whose buyout goes down quite a bit after this year, if I read that correctly on Monday's show, your value, your street cred, I mean, he's got plenty of street cred, but it has dipped. Think about what it was coming into the season versus where it's at now. Okay, you're talking about probably, up there quite a ways. You're talked about as one of the top 10, top 5 coaches in college basketball, despite going 8-10 last year in conference play. But again, the March, making the Sweet 16 certainly helped things. Then the season starts to unfold and you're dipping. His market value is no doubt dropping. Kind of makes sense if you want to play your hand right now. And this isn't Musselman. I'm sure this is his, agents are involved. What a better way to drum up a little bit of, people getting nervous on the Hill in Fayetteville than coaching rumors. All of a sudden, Hunter Yurachek, I don't know if his job is truly at risk or not. You know what? You guys can be the judge of that. I don't know. I know that the keeping Pittman for 5th year certainly made people feel a certain type of way, and I kind of wonder, looking back long term, does that actually make more sense to keep him? I don't know, but that's another live for another day. But Hunter probably feeling a little bit of pressure somewhere, if it's not from fans or – I'm sorry. We have people that drive these loud cars and motorcycles, and I'm in the garage/studio, so it's hard to prevent that sound from I can't mute the sound. But anyways, damn, I was rolling too. What the hell was I saying? Anyways, his value has dropped, and the timing, it can't be a coincidence. Again, this didn't start beginning of the year. This isn't starting in February. Here we are now. I don't know. I tend to think that some of this might be drummed up a little bit. I'm not saying there's absolutely no truth to it because, again, his buyout does come down quite a bit. I forgot what we said it was on Monday's show, but it comes down quite a bit. We all know that this is an ugly game. We all know that the coaching, the coaching salaries and all this stuff has gotten so wild. Agents are making killer dough. Coaches are making killer dough. They're making more and more each year. We've seen what's happened in the SEC. I don't know that I'm ready to completely shut the door on Eric Musselman being the Razorback, being the head coach next year. I don't know that I'm ready to do that just yet. I'm not saying that the rumors aren't true. I'm sure there's schools. Again, this could really be happening. This really could be his team, and it likely is. It probably is happening. His agent's getting on the phone. They're talking about job openings. They're talking about what's going on at this school and that school, what's happening at USC, what's going on at Minnesota. I have such a hard time seeing him leave Arkansas for Minnesota, or even Louisville for that matter. Arizona State makes a little bit more sense because you're going further out west. You're getting closer and closer to where his kind of neck of the woods, where he's had some success as a coach. It also falls in line too. I know people keep talking about the whole 4-year thing. You know, oh, well, he's there, he's been there, he's maxed out his time at Arkansas. So I don't know. It certainly seems like this question has to be asked: is this all a big coincidence? You know, we weren't talking about this at the end of last year. We're not talking about it coming into the year. We're talking about it now in January. We've been talking about it since early January, when the shit was already kind of hitting the fan. We knew something was up. You know, when they traveled earlier in the year, the Oklahoma game, North Carolina, Memphis, you're starting to see this thing you're starting to see some gaps in the armor. And then Oklahoma happened, and then you have no business losing to some teams you have no business losing to, right? And the way you ended 2023, I don't know. I certainly think that this feels like it was almost, it could, the byproduct of all this will be one way or another, he's going to end up making more money. His deal is going to have to get renegotiated anyways. His contract is going to have to be extended. So going back to Hunter, is that where I left off last when I was talking about? I think it was. I was talking about Hunter. Hunter's probably feeling the heat a little bit, and they know that. His team's well aware of that. I'm not sure Muss is involved in this whatsoever. I think he's coaching. I really don't see him and his agent or him and his team setting aside and they're just stroking their chin. How do we milk everybody? I don't see that happening. I think he's coaching. I think it's other people behind the scenes. They know what's going on. They know he's facing some adversity right now. And to lose Eric Musselman, look, I know a lot of you are pissed off about this season. You're not happy about the 8 wins last year in conference play. You think it's carried over, and this is just a sign of more to come. We're never going to be good in the SEC as long as Musselman's here. I think some of you, I've certainly seen that on social media. I've seen that in group chats I'm in and Discord. They feel like this is the new norm, that maybe if he can get us to March every year, we'll worry about that. But in the meantime, we know in conference play he's not done so great, so you just want to move on. I think you're the minority. I think most fans want him back, and Hunter's aware of that. So he's feeling some of this. And what a better time to just back him up into a corner and to then slap down the contract and kind of, I don't know, let's sign something. Now, if Hunter does lose Eric Musselman, I'm sorry, he's going to have to deserve a little bit of criticism on that, right? I mean, don't you think? Do you think if he loses Hunter and it's obviously the Pittman thing hasn't worked out the way we thought it would. I know people are complaining about the renovations to Bud Walton. They're not liking what's happening there. They're not liking I've had this conversation with people over the last several months about the cost of admission at Baum Stadium, and certain seats have gone up. And all this stuff is unfolding. And if Musselman leaves, that's going to be another thing on the layer to gripe about with Hunter Yurachek. Well, see, now he's let Musselman go. See, look at that. He let him leave. Look at that. Along with me paying more to go to Baum, with us losing seats inside Bud Walton, whether or not you're for or against that, I'm not taking a stance. I'm just saying. And then Pittman hasn't worked out. He let him come back for a 5th year. Hunter's feeling it. And again, it seems like a pretty opportunistic thing that this is all coming up now. I do think there's some realism to it. I do think his team is reaching out. I do think that's happening. And maybe Muss is involved. I don't know, but I'm not going to pretend that I have any idea if he's actually personally involved with any of that, but I don't think so. I think he's trying to focus on basketball, but then again, you could also make the argument that, maybe that's why he's been so distracted, right? Maybe that is what's going on. And I also know too, and there's probably a valid thing to be made of the whole Devo situation about Devo. Once again, he's gone, he's off the team, and there could probably be an argument. And I think that also speaks to a little bit of his market value. Like, man, what happened in 2023, 2024? What happened? You had a guy leave again. You know, you had this drama unfold again. This is all going to speak to him. You know, when athletic directors do their research, that's going to come up. You know it is. So it's going to have a not so positive effect on his market value. Now, again, I also don't want him. I'm not trying to make this out like he's worthless. I think he is a top 5 coach, and I think that's what his team's going to demand is a top 5, top 10 salary in college basketball, you know, to match what else is going on within that marketplace. Market space. Within that field of salaries, right? Like, I'm sure that's what they're going to chase, right? But we know after what's transpired this year, no one's going to offer him a top 3 salary, maybe not even a top 5 salary. But I do think this is them probably trying to squeeze the piggy bank a little bit. Again, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Let's see. Hunter is a mess up or 2 away from says Razor. I'm telling you, having to make 2 coaching changes, if football unfolds the way a lot of people believe that it will, if football unfolds the way that everyone thinks, I think a lot of people feel like it's going to unfold. If this is another 5-7, 4-8, no bowl game kind of year, and you have to replace a coach who's taking you to the land of opportunity and you know, it's almost not quite Razorback utopia when you're talking about Arkansas basketball, but it has that feeling of what it was like when I was a kid, when Nolan I looked up to. Nolan to me was like a walking, I don't know, he was a legend in my eyes when I was 9 years old. When I got to meet him when I was younger, I got to meet him inside Barnhill Arena. I've got pictures somewhere. Arky 56 has got him. I've got pictures with him, Oliver Miller, Todd Day, Lee Mayberry. I think I was 5 or 6. But you haven't been to that level since Musselman. And to lose him and to also have to make a coaching change at the football position with football, I'm not going to say he's in fired territory, but I certainly believe if things don't go the way we hope they go, right, in a more positive direction, if you make some up-and-coming basketball hire and his year 1 is bad, listen, if anything transpires, it's going to take some time. Then you also got to wonder with all these AD jobs that seem to be more and more common to open up. Seems like the lifespan of an athletic director also feels like it's kind of coming down in certain areas. So you kind of wonder if maybe he just doesn't deuce out, you know, eventually. I don't know why I still have Daniels. There we go. We'll pull that down. I don't know, man. It's college athletics is so much more difficult to predict. It's an ever-changing landscape. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think he deserves, you know, like what Tim pointed out on Don't Read the Comments podcast. We talked about that. And by the way, that podcast, we recorded one on Friday night, not the lives on Saturday. Not all that, not the post game. We did a separate podcast that's going to come out tonight at 6. So you'll have a little bit of time if you want to go watch that. But Tim brought up, I kind of brought up Hunter Yurchek, like not job security. I wasn't trying to make that point, but that should he maybe be under a microscope for fans a little bit? Should the media and fans kind of put him under a little bit more of a microscope, keep more of an eye on what's happening? That didn't used to be the case, right? I mean, until really Jeff Long. We had Frank Broyles for so long, you know, we never thought to look at the athletic director. And then Jeff Long came along, and that kind of changed. And obviously we know how that ended up. And I'm not saying Hunter belongs there. I'm not saying Hunter should be fired at all. I'm not making that. In fact, I like Hunter. I think overall I have a positive review of Hunter as an athletic director. He's been faced with some tough challenges since being the athletic director at the University of Arkansas. Some very tough challenges. What up, dog? What's up, John? How you doing, man? Sammy P winning 7 games next year is just smelly. Now, that would be a turn in the right direction. I know fans want more, but no, 7 wins would certainly be in the right direction. I don't think Musselman is gone, but if he is, they can get a good coach because it is proven that you can win at Arkansas. And that is the other side of this debate. That's the other side of the argument about Musselman. He has left the job better than how he found it. So I know that's also the other thing about all this is that, well, all right, we could do just as good or better. We're going to go get Beard. We're going to go get this guy. We're going to go whoever we want. We're going to get whoever we want. We're going to bring him here. We're going to get Cronin. We're going to get that buyout, and it's huge. But we're going to pay it off. We're going to bring Cronin here, despite the fact that UCLA's right now. Who cares? We could do that. I don't know if it's that simple. And we're not right now. We're not going to get into other coaches' salaries, into their buyouts. But I will say he left the job if he is indeed gone. And I don't know. I'm saying it's possible. I still put Louisville as my least likely of the names I've heard. Between them and Minnesota, just not as likely. Arizona State. Someone brought up USC. Like those and I don't know that situation out there as far as like coaching buyouts, but and kind of what's. I know USC is nowhere near as good as we all thought they were going to be. I certainly thought they were going to be better, but I also thought the same about A&M. Thought the same thing about Arkansas. How about South Carolina? Oh, my gosh. Power poll number 1 in the SEC, I think. I don't know. You guys tell me. Golly, dude. That was impressive last night. That was very impressive. I don't know. I truly don't know if they're going to be able to go out and get just anybody they want, because buyouts do matter. I think we kind of showed that, because if they felt that confident, I think they would have walked away from Pittman. But it's also different with football, because football is just not as attractive as Arkansas basketball is. Let's be real. For coaches, I feel like it goes this way. Baseball, if Dave Van Horn, I think if the only way that man retires is if he wins it all, and I think he might. If that happens anytime soon, I really feel like he'd probably hang him up. I really do. I feel like he would hang him up. So baseball is the most attractive. This is one of the most attractive jobs, not just in the SEC, but in all of college baseball. Continuously with these top 3, top 5 classes, Baum Stadium is it. We all know Baum is it, man. If you've never been to a game inside Baum, I highly recommend it. But that is the most appealing. Okay, then it's basketball. Basketball's second, because of what Sutton, his turnaround, and then Nolan. Of course, it took Nolan a little bit, but Nolan got it rolling, and now you've got the Musselman effect. So Musselman has shown in the era of NIL and transfer portal, you can do a really damn good job in the portal. I just think I really believe this year's he just rolled. The dice just didn't roll in his favor, and there's some things you just can't see on film. And again, it's chemistry and all that stuff. It just backfired this year on him. I really feel like, and I do think there's some stuff going on in the locker room. Again, I'm not talking about anything. It's just chemistry stuff that's not carrying onto the floor, and it's probably carrying into the locker room a little bit. Nothing I know, just kind of my feelings on the matter. But and then football's last, right? Football's last. It just is. It's just not as attractive. It's hard to recruit. Now Arkansas they have shown they can do pretty well in the portal here in football as well. Unfortunately, this year we all thought there for a minute this is going to be the best transfer class maybe they've ever had. Then it's they dropped quite a bit. We'll see where it ends up. But yeah, so you're probably that's I think the right line of popularity on campus or in terms for coaches, right? So and Musselman has brought it up quite a ways. Maybe they can go out and get somebody pretty, attractive. I think baseball goes to Bobby Warren's. I kind of hope it's going to piss some people off. I say you bring V over, baby. I mean, I say if Van Horn decides I'm done regardless, I think you bring over V. I think you bring over the man that just turned Tennessee baseball around. He's already from here, or from the Dave Van Horn thing. He was here with Dave Van Horn. He knows. I know fans right now don't hold him in the highest regard, but I don't know, man. I feel like that's somebody. If Tony V showed up here, it just feels like he's handed the keys to the Cadillac, man. And someone like that who's quite a bit younger, a little bit more energetic. I know there's the stuff about how they act in the dugout. I really think that's just Tennessee trying to get on the map. I really think that's just, they're trying to be the bad boys of the SEC. He's trying to market his team a certain way. He knows that wouldn't fly here, and I don't think he would do it here. I really don't. I know we're supposed to hate him. I get it, the beef between him and Dave Van Horn, but guess what? They squashed it. Davis talked about that later that night when they got in each other's face a couple years back. They had dinner that night. It's squashed. I think Dave would have to give his blessing, and I think Dave would have to come out and just say it. Like, okay, hey, look, here's your next guy. I'm going to retire, and then introduce Vitello. Oh, my God. Baseball, I don't know. I'm all about it. Now, they may not have, I think Tennessee's – we'll see what they do this year. They'll probably be good again, but he has turned that baseball program around, okay? No one gave a shit about Tennessee baseball until that man showed up. And you've got to dig that connection that he has here, right? He knows what's up. He knows the recruiting. He knows what he can do here. It feels like he would come in and he's got the keys. Younger, more energetic. His players love playing for him. I agree with people who think the dugout stuff. I think some people got a little over animated about that, got a little too heated over guys having fun, showing a little bit of aggression. But I also understand in baseball that kind of thing just doesn't fly. But I don't know. It just didn't bother me as much. But then again, you guys know I don't care when players shit talk a little bit. When they do the bat flip, okay, get them back. Beat them. Get them back. That's my mentality. All right, you're going to talk that shit. You're going to bat flip. All right, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come back at you. And I feel like that's the attitude he kind of brought over to Tennessee. And look where it took him. So, I don't know. Maybe that's a youngin's approach. Young. Come on, let's be real. I'm 40. All right, I think that's going to be it. Did we cover everything? Oh, no, we didn't talk about Missouri. We're having so much fun talking about everything else. Yeah, Missouri, guys, the level of bad they are, and I know you know this, but they are 0-7. They have the worst record in conference play. Vandy is also 0 but they're 0 for 6. Arkansas 1 for 6. Those are the three worst teams, along with Mississippi State, LSU, and A&M. They they have 3 wins in conference play. A&M has just been, I don't know, to me that's just been a shock as much as Arkansas. Maybe not as much as Arkansas, but it's a shock. But Mizzou, being as bad as they are, 8-12 overall, 0-7. I mean, they have struggled on a level that is almost just, I don't know. They did play South Carolina close at home. They played Florida a little bit better than we did. They've lost right now. They're riding, what is it, about a 7-game losing streak? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-game losing streak. Yeah, right, because SEC play. But even before that, they put up a decent fight with KU, but then KU ends up winning that game 73-64. They lost to Seton Hall 93-87. At the time, number 13 Illinois, they lost 97-73. This is a team right now that's getting 73 points a game, which is 221st in the country. They're a horrible rebounding team, 32 boards a game. That's good enough for 414th in the country. I was wrong. I thought it was like 375. I guess there's 400 plus. Missouri has reached depths that I didn't even know existed and how bad they are. 414th in rebounding. Brazil probably not going to play. I don't know if we have much on Brazil. I don't believe Devo's going to play. As we know, he stepped away. There was someone. Okay, never mind. I was going to say someone had reported they thought Devo had been seen it's someone else. I'm confusing him with somebody else. It wasn't Devo. Assists per game, they're at 13. They're 218th in the country, and they're giving up about 74 points a game. Yeah, Missouri is just really, really bad. I mean, it just kind of goes without saying. There's not much they do good. They're pretty good at forcing turnovers. They're a good steals team. I have watched them play a little bit. I remember watching pieces of that Kansas game because at the time Mizzou hadn't really played horrible basketball leading into that game. They just come off a win at Pitt and Wichita State. And I thought, okay, well maybe they'll give Kansas a run for their money. It wasn't a horrible game, but in the second half, KU just kind of took off and outscored Missouri pretty easily. Gave them a pretty good first half. In fact, Missouri led some of that first half, actually quite a bit of that first half. Missouri has it in them to beat or be competitive with some really good teams, but they can't put it together. They can't finish games. Very similar to Arkansas. Both these teams just really, really bad. However, Arkansas's been worse. Well, not worse. That's not fair. No, not worse. As of late, it is a complete shit show with the Devo drama. We don't know what's going on with Brazil. We still have this problem at point guard. Shocker, I know. But I did like the way they played against Kentucky. I really feel like I should just flip a coin, like for real. I picked Arkansas. That was my first pick, and I deleted it in our Discord. This is a tough one. I think I'm going to go Missouri simply because Arkansas they've already played some bad ball at home. They're capable. They're wildly inconsistent. And this feels like they should. Obviously, if these two teams play their best ball of the year, Arkansas should still run them off the floor. They should. Even if they play their A+ and Arkansas plays their A+, Arkansas should run them off the damn floor. I don't know. I don't know what team shows up. They looked good against Kentucky. However, I don't really know where to put Kentucky if I'm putting together a power poll. Let's not forget they also have some confusing head-scratching games this year. The Wildcats do. I think Missouri's going to break their losing streak tonight at home. I also think if Brazil plays, I don't know, but if Brazil travels, that's going to be enough. And listen, Missouri fans do take this to them. This is a rivalry. Okay, I feel like if this game were in Fayetteville, there would be more of them traveling to this game than Arkansas fans traveling to Columbia. So I think that's a part of it too for me. That's kind of the thing that tilts this in their favor a little bit. Yeah, if they both play good, clean ball, I would take Arkansas by, I don't know, but I'd take Arkansas. But I'm going to take Missouri. I think they are a little bit pissed about some of the Brazil comments, despite the fact he may not be on the floor tonight. And they do view this to them. This is a rivalry. Their fans will show up. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to Missouri. Arkansas is just bad right now. I don't think that's exactly breaking news. If DVH were at Tennessee playing on their carpet, he'd be as big of a troll. Yeah, you got to do something to put Tennessee on the map. And I think some of that, I think they embraced that whole bad boy of baseball thing over there for a little bit. I think it would be Matt Hobbs or Nate Thompson. That feels like the logical move. It does, but I'd take Tony V over. I'd take Tony V over either of them, to be honest. However, I don't think either of those two would be bad. Given how Arkansas is and how it usually goes down, Missouri will ball out and shoot lights out for no reason at all. Someone's going to have the best game of their career tonight for Missouri. It's crazy how allergic people are to hitting the like button. Yeah, hit the like button, please. It's like people think pressing it gives you jock itch or something. Sean Sanders might become the official. I don't know. I've got mods. He's going to be the my official like button. I don't know, not mascot, but team member. He's going to be the make sure you hit the like button team member. Welcome, Sean, to the Tuss Talk. You're a Tuss Talk team member now, and you're going to make sure people hit that like button. I like you. Yeah, make sure you hit the like button, share, and subscribe if you're new here. We grew in subscribers. We grew in views. I mean, it's been great. 2024. I'm thankful for you guys, man. You help make this possible. Patreon supporters, all 100 plus of you, help make this possible. What's going on, Mike? How you doing, man? Welcome, sir. So don't forget, we are going to do another giveaway. It will be on probably the 5th or the 6th of next, somewhere in there. The weekend. Let me pull up my calendar. Let's pull up the calendar. This is a Patreon giveaway. Oh, goodness. No, that's February. Okay. So Patreon should email me the new list of names on the 5th. So sometime that week or that weekend, which would be the 9th or 10th, we'll do the giveaway. We'll do another giveaway. Just giving you guys a heads up, and I want to make this clear on the autographed. Again, we have the Traylon Burks autographed card and the Mason Jones autographed card. those will probably be either starting of the month of spring camp or the fall when spring camp is over with. Maybe going into the summer, we'll do those autographed cards then. For right now, we're going to go through – I've got them all right here. We're going to go through – I mean, we have a lot of really cool cards to give away because I want to get through some of these, before we hand out the big ones. And again, you got to be legendary status. Don't worry about it right now because the autographs are not going to be a part of there we go. There's Mason Jones, right? And there's Treylon Burks. These are autographed cards. So we're going to wait a little while, and then we have a whole bunch of these old school champion Arkansas cards. I still have another Steve Atwater. It's my last one. Again, I'm on the fence about whether or not I want to give that away. I have a John Daly too, but I'm not giving that away. I want that man to autograph that card. I've got, for you OGs, I've got, old OGs, Lloyd Phillips. Hang on. Oh, where are those? Bill Montgomery. Again, James Shebest. Steve Little. His jersey's retired, by the way. I've got a few of those, I think. I got a lot of Lloyd Phillips. Quinn Grovey, Marvin Delph, Joe Klein, Ron Brewer, I've got 4 Joe Fergusons. Got a couple of Lou Holtz, Billy Ray Smith, Mike Conley. So I've got some of these cards I want to give away. So some of these will be a part of the giveaways in the coming months. So, yeah. Where you get those cards. The Champions cards, I don't remember. How I got those. I can't remember if I got them at a garage sale or I don't remember, but I've had them for years. I've had them for a long, long time. We've got the Anthony Black rookie Chrome card. Got that bad boy. That's going to be a part of a legendary status giveaway. I've got Patrick Beverly, but it's not him it's him in the NBA. It's not Arkansas, but it's Patrick Beverly. So, yeah, it's going to be cool. Maybe this game against a team like Mizzou will get our guys' mojo going. I can't go through life thinking they're better than the I can't go through life thinking they're better than the Hogs. I live 5 minutes from the border. Oh, God bless you. God bless you, Philip. Which Conley is that? Is that junior? I don't know. Hold on. I'll show you. How about that? I'll show you. It just says Mike Conley, so I'm assuming that's senior. Yeah, this has got to be senior. Yeah. Lettered in 1982, 83, 84, 85. All-American, 82, 83, 84, 45. Undoubtedly the most decorated athlete in Arkansas history is Mike Conley. That's according to this card. He still ranks as the top combination triple jump and long jump jumper in the world. Again, this was as of like 1990. But here it is. There's the card. So if you could see that. Yeah, I would argue Matt Jones is I don't know. I'm biased, though. I'm biased. I'll fully admit that, but he's still my favorite. He's still my favorite Razorback, maybe ever. Between him and Big Nasty, Lee Mayberry, Todd Day. All right. That's going to do it. I do appreciate you guys again, those of you who stood up for your boy on Twitter. Man, that was awesome. You guys, that was really cool. And I like, too, that it was a lot of you were like, hey, look, this is what Ty was trying. This is consistent with what Ty's done in all of his titles. So I do appreciate you guys for doing that. Again, this live was a Let's Chat, and it was also latest on Musselman. And so it was a mix of just kind of non-Razorback related stuff and some Razorback related stuff. I know someone's going to bitch about it. Someone's going to complain, but I mean, it's in the title. It's on the thumbnail. I made it pretty clear that we're not just talking about Razorback sports, I feel like. So, yeah. I'll be live tonight for the postgame. Looking forward to it. I hope I'll see you guys there tonight. Patreon, I'm going to upload a video to you guys here soon, if not tonight. I want to do it today if I have time. I do have one of my daughters is fighting the flu, so it's one of the reasons why my streaming has been a little wonky this week. But I will be live tonight, so I hope to see you there. Again, on your way out, make sure you like the video, share the content, and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay? I'll see you tonight.